Guys, this is a case study on Mariam's progress of working with me. So welcome, Mariam. Thanks for joining us today and sharing the things that you've experienced in your life and the outcomes and the journey you're on with us, and sharing it with others so they can see the work, that their potential and their possibility. So thank you for joining us. Mariam, to get us started, would you mind sharing with us how many children you've got, because you're a mother, and what were your key struggles that you have really experienced in this journey of motherhood, and really what made you seek help from me?
Okay, so I've got 3 children. So I think my first one, I was around 27 when I had her, and I've got 2 in succession after 5 years after her, so 1.5 years apart, the last 2. The youngest one being just turned 2 this summer. And I think for me, the key struggle was before I had a nice long stretch of just me. I always say that I had a nice long stretch of just me until I was 27, and I found it very easy to care for myself because it was just me for a very long time. Then adding children to the mix and stuff, it didn't occur to me until after I've had 3 basically, that hang on, I've given myself, I should say, 0 time to keep myself the way I like to keep myself, which is health-wise, fitness-wise, even like mental health-wise. It's all kind of gets spent on the kids. And I guess most of us obviously have that, where we put all our efforts and energies into the family and into the kids and all the rest of it. And then by the end of the day, your cup is pretty much empty and there's not much to give to yourself. And I think that's when I kind of turned to you especially after lockdown, when I think I hit quite a low point, because lockdown, I mean, everyone kind of was struggling a little bit anyway. But I just felt I needed someone to kind of draw me out of that kind of behavior, where it's everyone, and then me if there's anything left. And I think you've just really helped me on that journey of realizing that it doesn't have to be me if there's anything left. It can be me, because then I can serve everyone after that.
Well, it was really good. And tell us, you in that lockdown, you did actually do some things for yourself, but you even before that, you've got a history of trying to address the way you felt in your body. What were those things that you tried, and how successful were those things for you?
I think a lot of the things I did was successful in the short term, but I wasn't addressing it. I didn't have enough knowledge to address it in the way it should be addressed. But it was, I put on weight, I need to lose weight, crash diet, or I'm losing my fitness levels, just kind of go to the gym a few times a week and think nothing of it, or treat diets as something to do to get to where you want to be, and then carry on with your life, which is desserts and fried food and dinners out constantly, and baking at home and going for it. So when I did what I wanted to do, which is usually before like a family wedding or something, when you want to look great in the pictures, it worked at the time. But literally what I would do for say 6 months of the year, I would lose all of that within 3 weeks straight after the event I was working towards. And then as I've got older, I realized that those little quick fixes weren't even working anymore. It wasn't like when I was younger, where, right, I'm going to go on, a popular diet that's out and about at the moment, and I will lose this many kilos and I'll be done by the end of the month kind of thing. It's, no, I'm doing the work, and my body was resisting the changes by the end of it. And I think I said to you at the beginning that I am 37. I don't want to be 40 and still thinking in my head, I'm not there. Because all I've thought since I've kind of started my putting on weight and losing that fitness level, I used to be really fit when I was younger. And when I was, like, I guess everyone in school and college, it was on all the sports teams and doing all the dance productions and running around for no reason and just being very healthy. And even after, before I had kids, I'd be on ladies basketball teams and going on for hikes and things like that. But everything's kind of dropped. And then just noticing that when you go to the park with the kids, I would want to be sitting on the bench rather than joining in. I just thought, no, that's not the way I used to be. That's not And that's not the motherhood I want to identify with as well. So I think that's when I kind of came along to you, where, okay, my quick fixes aren't working, and you were talking about a different way of, just changing the way you live your life and living a healthier life. And it just sounded, and I've worked with you in the past when I had my first one, where we did the bumped babies buggy fit, I think it was. And I liked your approach. I thought, right, I think I need someone that knows motherhood, because that was my other issue, was any fitness I did or any training I did, it was never tailored to me as a mother. Like, once we've given birth, we have issues. I've got pelvic issues, I've got back issues, and all the rest of it will come after pregnancy. And most training programs would push me because I am this size and I need to be this size, and this is how hard I need to work to get to this, not taking in mind that I have pelvic issues. So things would be, jumping and running would be really, really difficult for me. I'd just have to stop halfway through, or I'd go full on for a week, and then I'd have a bad back for 2 weeks after that. So I got quite frustrated with working against my body to get where I wanted to be. And I think you're the first person that kind of understood how my body worked and how mothers' bodies work. And you worked with me, and you were very, very patient. You worked with me in the way I needed to be able to get me on my journey, really.
Yeah, and that was what was profound, actually, because a lot of people just like, I want to be pushed, I want to be, what's that term? It's I want to be thrashed, and like feel like they've really trained incredibly hard. But because you had done those things, and I tend to say, but I don't believe that does work. I've done it myself on myself, and seen how broken I have been and how ill it killed my immune system, and the amount of illness I had after my second child, of trying to just beat my body into a place that it was just not ready to go to. It's beating it into submission, thinking that we all are the same, and we're really not. We're really so individual, and even giving birth, mothers' experiences of birth and postpartum recovery, and whether it's postpartum recovery or whether it's the child, your youngest child is 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, your body sometimes takes much longer to recover, and it's establishing and understanding where each person is. So it's really great that you acknowledged you needed some of that support, because a lot of people don't realize those things when they're on this journey of, I look like this and I now don't want to look like that and I want to look like this, and there is that disregard for what their body has been through. So really honor you for really appreciating and taking stock of what your body, where your body was, and that actually, okay, I need a different approach. And that was great that we were able to do that. And lockdown was really tricky, the second one, when we were working together, because then children were unexpectedly working from home, homeschooling. And so we worked through, and you still found it challenging, but I think it would have been far worse, do you think, if we weren't really working on your mindset and habits?
Definitely. I think that was the turning point for me, is when you, at the beginning, when you kept talking about mindset, it's something so foreign to me that I kept thinking, I don't know. I don't even know how to think in the way you were trying to get me to think. And it was like a very foreign concept, because I think people tend to disconnect health and fitness and everything else to your mental health. You think they're two different things. To be honest, not many people address mental health. It's more of a thing now anyway. But just the mindset, when I started working on the exercises you did and started thinking deeper about everything and really thinking about my why and what I wanted, and it wasn't what I thought it was. It's always been, oh, I want to be size 8, I want to be skinny, and that's it kind of thing. And I thought, no, it really genuinely, it isn't that. It's not, I want to be looking this way and then my life will be perfect and everything will fall into place. It's kind of, I want the health for this. I want the stamina so I can run around with my kids without it feeling like a chore. And not even just for the kids. I want that for myself. I've got this vision of who I want to be, very, very family in my head. And then when I look at the person I am, it's not there. And now there's no time but now to actually get to where I want to be. Like I said, when I hit 40, I don't want to be still thinking, I need to be better. I need to do this. I want to be the best version of me. And then I want to live my life as the best version of me. Not it's a whole lifetime of yo-yo diets and fad exercises and this and that. And one year I'm looking great. One year I'm like having to reach for the XL sizes on the clothes rail. So I really didn't want to continue with that lifestyle. So yeah.
Okay, and tell us about this woman you saw. You were out.
This poor woman, she probably must have been having just a really great day, and I've got her in my mind for the rest of my life. So, like I said to you, I was driving back after the school run. So it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was quite a cold kind of morning. And there was just this older lady. I'm assuming now. See, in my head, when I was young, I used to think the ladies that looked like that were probably 40 or 50. But now that I'm nearly 40, she's probably 60 or 70. Now it's kind of clicking into place. So yeah, maybe 60 or 70, tall, slender, silver hair, owning her hair, got like sports gear on, and it's going for a brisk walk in the morning. And I thought, okay, when I look at me and the way I'm going, trajectory I'm going down at that time, I thought I want to be her. I want to be that woman that woke up early, got a purpose in her life. She's not got kids to drop to school or anything. So there's no reason to be up at that time. But she's doing it for herself and her health, and she just looked vital and healthy and very happy in her own skin. And I thought, that's what I want to be when I'm older, when I'm big, basically. When I grow up, I want to be her. I don't want to be losing my health and counting the amount of pills I need to take every day. And, walking down to the end of the road is a bit of a struggle, so I'll pop out and take the car, because I can see people around me living the lifestyle that I was living, and that's where they headed, was basically walking at the end of the road was a struggle for them. Playing with the kids, it's okay, kind of thing. I don't want to. I really didn't want that life. And when I saw her, I thought, that's where I need to be. And I think something clicked, and I thought, well, it's not going to happen by doing what I'm doing now. Something needs to change. And it was just like a bit of a defining moment for me, seeing that woman.
Yeah, and I loved it when you shared that. And so how has your relationship with food changed?
Since I've joined with you, there has been a massive change. It has been a massive change, because for me, first of all, just the knowledge of what was healthy and what was not. I was working on to lose weight. I was finding the diet program that allowed me to eat the most while still losing weight. So everything was still around, kind of not gorging, but filling myself to the absolute limit, because that's how I felt you should be able to do. So I would look for the diets that allowed me to eat the most while still losing weight. So I'd be filling up on, maybe you'd lose out the oil, all the good fats basically, but you would pile up on the pasta and pile up on the rice and all the rest of it. And when you started talking to me about food, I know there was a massive resistance from me. It was funny because I signed you up, and then I dug my heels in and made you push me up the hill all the way. So that change took a long time to get to, where it was, okay, I don't need as much food as I thought I did. I don't need as much of the type of food I thought I did, because I think one of the big things for me was cutting out bread from my diet, especially at the beginning where I cut it out completely. Anyone that has tried to tell me to do that in the past, I've looked at them like they're absolutely crazy. There's no way I could survive without bread. I need bread and rice and rotis in my life. There's no way I could survive without it. And when I tried it, I tried it wholeheartedly rather than expecting to fail. And then I realized that, yeah, you actually were telling the truth, that there are healthier substitutes that you can have that will keep you fuller, that don't give you that craving you get at the end of white bread or white rice or all the rest of it. And that was such a big turning point for me, because I thought, okay, if she's right about that, more than likely she's right about everything else she's saying to me. So it's just been, the relationship with food isn't, oh gosh, I'm getting hungry, I must eat, because if I don't eat, I'll be hungry. It's like such a big deal in my head to not be hungry all the time. But now it's like, okay, well, I'm a bit peckish, I can hang on. Or I know I'm going out later on today, so I probably will end up eating something. So rather than just going full pelt from morning, I'll have a smoothie and then kind of carry on with the day. And it's okay for the tummy rumbles because it's not a big deal. It puts hunger and food secondary, whereas it was always, and in my family, food is like, okay, it's a birthday, so what are we cooking? Oh, we're getting together on Friday, so what are we cooking? Forget about who's coming. It's what are we cooking is first. So bringing that secondary has been a really big step for me, but I think I'm there with that now.
Yeah, and I remember you sharing that how focusing on experiences, we're talking about mind set shifts. When you had your son's birthday party, and having the emphasis on who you're going to see, connections, and all right, granted, we have come out of a really isolated time, so but I still think that was huge for you to really have food as a secondary, especially for you thinking cake and what types of food you were going to get to eat that day.
Exactly, yeah. That is a big difference, because it always was that. I don't know if everyone's like that, but I know I was very much, and my family's very much like that. Okay, we've got a birthday party. So like I said to you, it's my son's birthday party. I was hosting it. So yeah, the food was there at the forefront for me, but it was more, what am I serving to other people? But for me, the excitement was the experience, not the food and, oh, I get to eat this and this and this. And on the day, I was perfectly fine, thinking, if everyone's happy, I'm good. I'll have what I want to have, a little bit of it. I don't need to stuff myself. I'm more here for the experience, not the food. And that has changed a lot, because I've hosted like friends over just this week as well. And again, all of our friends are very food focused, and they were all constantly the same as me on yo-yo diets and all the rest of it. And while we got together and pitched in and brought the food over, when I was there, it was more, I want to spend time with them, not load up my plate and see how much I can get down me kind of thing. So it just feels refreshing to be able to get that kind of release from food, because you're almost always in a battle with yourself then, because you want to eat, but then you're stopping yourself, but then you're thinking about it. And that was, when it's so much at the forefront of your mind, it's so easy to just slip off and then go into it, and then, almost spiral back down to where you don't want to be. So removing that from the forefront of my mind it's just made life so much easier for me as well, to kind of continue with my journey of where I want to go.
Yeah. And your relationship to exercise, tell us a little bit about that.
That was another kind of revelation to me, because I've never really, apart from when I was younger and I used to do sports and dance and all the rest of it, where I used to actually, sports are obviously a lot different, you actually enjoy the entire thing. But when I used to do exercise classes, or actually go for like, okay, for an hour I'm going to do cardio or whatever, I used to hate every minute of it. And literally I'd go onto the treadmill, 19 minutes to go, 18 minutes to go, literally the entire time. I'd be counting down when I'd be able to walk away from that thing. So obviously you're not going to stick to that. If you're hating it that much, you're not going to stick to that. And then I think you introduced me to HIIT training, and the weights, and just, I actually found exercise fun again. And although at the beginning it was a little bit of a struggle of getting myself motivated to get started, I think what we worked on is, rather than trying to put in an hour or two in the day of exercise, it was short bursts. So I remember you saying, just move, whatever you want to do, just move. You just don't sit still kind of thing. So I'd have a little bit of a walk, or I'd do like a 15-minute interval training on YouTube, or follow one of your things. And after a few times, I realized straight away how good I was feeling after it. Then the next day, my body would chase that feeling. And I would, if I've spent the whole day sitting around, I'd be like, right, even if it's midnight, I'm getting out the weights. And my husband would walk in at midnight and find me in the sitting room with the weights, just doing a quick, like 15 minutes. They'd be like, okay, so this is our life now, is it? But it was great, because it just felt like my body needed it and wanted it. So my body wanted to do the exercise, as opposed to me, again, forcing it into submission. So that was, again, another turning point for me. It really was. And the feeling of, I need and want movement. I don't want to be so sedentary. It doesn't feel great when I'm just sitting around.
Great. And in terms of breaking habits, so you've broken habits, you've created new ones, you have less deserving do you think, for the relationship between food and deserving, being deserving of like a treat? Oh, I've had a really hard, challenging day. I deserve this dessert. Somebody's dropped cake off. I deserve it. I'm only going to have a little bit and then end up eating the whole lot. What?
Yeah.
Where have you come with that one?
See, that was just last night actually that I had one of those moments. That we've had a busy couple of days. We've had parties and stuff, and I've kind of been central to kind of help organizing it. And yesterday I was just absolutely battered from the 2 days of intense whatever goes on kind of thing behind these things. And by the end of the evening, I put the kids to bed, and I'm sitting in bed watching a little bit of TV, and I thought, this thought kind of niggled where, oh, there's a birthday cake downstairs. This is where I would usually make myself a cup of tea and think, oh, let's sit down with a nice cup of cake. And then I sat there, and then I thought, yeah, it would be nice, not lying. It would be lovely. But is that really what I want to end my day on? That, and then wake up in the morning thinking, I let it slide again. Or how much better would it be if I just kind of held firm on this very fleeting desire to have a bit of cake and kind of scoff probably a little chocolate on the side and all the rest of it. And I woke up feeling really, really great that it was literally a momentary thing. And to be honest, the thought of it's always better than the actual thing anyway. Once you've had it, you think, it wasn't as great as I thought it was. And I would have woke up really thinking, really feeling disappointed in myself probably. And I woke up feeling really proud that it wasn't such a big deal to me. It wasn't, I have to have this because I've been so tired. I did sit down with her. I'm so tired, I deserve to sleep and rest my body a little bit. So that change kind of was very, very apparent to me yesterday. That it may seem small, but that never would have happened before. It would have always been cake over sleep, and it always would have been treat over anything else because I've always felt like I deserve it. But now I still have that deserving mindset, but it's more my body deserves better. That's where I'm trying to lead myself now.
Yeah, it's leading with self-love, care for yourself, and that view of wanting to be that vital, long, healthy version of you that you're aspiring towards. So yeah, proud of you. That's a really amazing defining moment. What's then your relationship with yourself since this work you've done on yourself?
Okay, I think we've spoken about this right at the beginning, and I think that was a bit of a hard one for me to actually realize. I think a lot of us kind of, when we're talking to ourselves, we don't even let ourselves know how we're speaking to ourselves sometimes, if that makes sense. So when I came to you, I was at a low point with how I felt about myself, body image wise, self-esteem wise. And like I think I've said to you in the past that I've been very lucky. I've grown up in a very supportive household. I've never had the issues some women may have of thinking they weren't enough or all the rest of it. So it came to me as quite a shock that when I realized I'm the way I was speaking to myself mentally, where I'd look at a picture and think, you really shouldn't be taking any pictures. Or I'd look at myself in the mirror, strip down, look at myself in the mirror, and I'd think, there's really nothing good to look at here. And it was absolutely, when I heard about what I was saying to myself, I thought I would never speak to anybody else like that, no matter what they look like. So why am I doing that to, you're meant to be everything to yourself, whereas I was kind of really, really harsh on myself. And yes, there are improvements to be made, but I think what I've learned on this journey with you is that if you're not going to be kind to yourself, and if you're not going to support yourself and speak to yourself with a little bit of love, you're not going to get very far, because there's always going to be that inner critic in your head thinking, still not enough, you're still not there, you're still not good enough. When you hit this target, then you can be happy, or when you fit into that dress, then you'll be happy. And that's not how I intend to live my life. So as much as I didn't intend to live it, that's what was happening. And the small changes that we've made and the work that we've done has really helped me to kind of be a lot more kinder to myself. So even now, I'm not where I want to be physically, but when I look at myself, the internal dialogue has changed a lot. So it points out the good in me rather than pointing out the bad. And that bolsters me to work toward. It's like when you work with a child, I guess, isn't it? You can tell them how wrong they are, or you can tell them what they're doing right, and they'll want to please you even more. It's the same with ourselves. You can beat yourself up and then think, oh, well, really rubbish anyway. I might as well go sit down and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake. Or, no, I can see it. I can see the change. I'm doing well. I just need to keep going. I'm getting where I want to be. And that has been massive to me. Just being kinder in my head has just been massive to me. It makes me so much happier inside.
And I think that's fundamentally about what it's about, right?
Yeah.
We may want to look a certain way, become thinner or slimmer or whatever, but is that really going to bring us the happiness we really want? It's more about how all of that makes us feel, how moving our body makes us feel healthy, energetic, the hormone releases, and feeling like also we're being a role model to other members of our family, our children, our partners or friends, a whole load of things that go with the journey. And do you feel then it's less of a destination? Because I know you talk about when you turn 40, but do you feel like it's less of a destination, but more of a journey? Or do you still see it as a destination?
I can't. I still see I still see me at 40 being a lot more where I want to be. But no, I am appreciating the journey. That's the difference between what I've done in the past, where it's put your head down, starve yourself, get through it, get to where you want to be, and then you're done. I've done that too many times and slid back to not have learned from that now. So I know that it is a lifelong journey that I'm living now, and it needs to kind of, I can see myself wanting to push myself. So, right, okay, I've got here with the food, or I've got here with the fitness. What can I do now to push myself and keep going? And like little changes have been made, like I said to you, like over the holidays. Previous summer holidays would be focused around cinemas, play areas for the kids where the mums would sit down and just gossip kind of thing, going out for desserts and that kind of thing. Whereas now it's zip lining, and that was amazing. Absolutely loved it. My husband kind of got quite inspired by what I've been doing over the last year or so now, almost. And him and his friends went and climbed Mount Snowdon a couple of weeks ago. And that was, I was just so proud of him. I just thought that we're finally almost aligning what we're trying to achieve now. So things like that normally would be, oh, great for other people, not for us. We'll just go and, take them to the movies kind of thing. So we're focusing on movement and making it fun for the family as well, because it doesn't end up just as if our kids and my nephews and nieces. I live in a massive extended family, so I was the ringleader. So if I wanted dessert, everyone got made dessert, so they had no choice in the matter. Whereas now it's like, if I want a zip line, everyone's going zip lining that weekend. So it's been a nice shift for the entire family.
Wow, that is phenomenal, because it's not just your life you're transforming, it's everybody's.
And everyone's so much happier for it. I've just realized how much more they enjoy the experiences over the copious amounts of movies and nachos I'd feed them all the time.
I go into a coma, sugar coma. Oh, that's so good. And you are rewarding yourself, with better thoughts and feeling good every day. Do you so are you proud of where you've arrived at this point in time?
Yeah, definitely. I am. I'm really happy with how far I've come along in the journey. But I'm very aware of how much more there is, and I know I do have these little mini slide backs and stuff. But the difference now is I know it's happening, rather than ignoring it up until when you've literally lost all the momentum you'd actually gained. So and now it's summer holidays, things do tend to kind of settle in a little bit. It does get a little bit more indulgent than it normally should, but I'm already looking forward to getting back into the swing of things and back into where I want to be. Whereas before it'd be like a bit of dread of, oh, school starts and we're gonna have to start being good again kind of thing. So I'm really happy with just that mindset of I want to be better. I just constantly want to be better all the time.
Yeah, and it isn't about being good or bad, having that language towards things, because It's just, this is where we are right now. And yeah, it's good that you see it like that, well, it's not like this forever. You know, we're back into a different routine when the children go back to school, and enjoying these moments. And it's not taking your foot off completely off the gas, you know. You like the moment you had last night, it's like, well, no, I don't need it, it's fine. It's a I don't need to act on those moments. One last thing I wanted to ask you, it's just popped in my head, which I remember I wanted to ask you about, was mood swings and being reactive, because you've got a strong personality, and you have expressed previously that, you know, if chaos is going on, you sometimes may be reactive, so how do you feel you manage those situations now with the work you've done and the food you
I do feel I'm a lot happier inside. Again, I think some of the mood, not even mood swings, but yeah, I mean, I was very quick to anger, and a lot of the times, if it was at an inappropriate time, or if I was in front of someone where really you can't get away with having a strop at them, it'd be a lot of, I've always used to say, I'm going to get ulcers when I'm older. The amount of times I bite my tongue, I'm going to get ulcers when I'm older, kind of thing. I would just be like burning inside and getting angry inside, but not kind of letting it out, kind of thing. But with the kids, very quick to anger. If they did something, it'd be straight away, then after regret. I think a lot of that was, I noticed food, because when my food changed over the month of Ramadan, we fasted, and I normally, Ramadan in my household is fried food, desserts, all the rest of it, kind of thing. I kept to what we'd agreed with, you know, with food wise, and I kept to quite a healthy, clean-ish diet. But come Eid day, which is our day of feasting, I'd had a little bit of sweets and all the rest of it, and I'd had like bread and all the rest of it. Basically all the stuff I've been trying to keep away from over the fasting month. And my mood switched incredibly that day. I went from being quite energetic and sunny disposition and all the rest of it to lethargic and incredibly moody within a few hours. And that really worked me up to the power of the types of food and what they can do to your mood. But also, I think, again, the mental work. When I was being harsh on myself, I was unhappy in my core, I felt. And then that would come out on the children or my husband or anyone else, basically. You're kind of already starting your day from a place of unhappiness almost inside. Whereas now, because things are so much better inside my mind as well, I'm starting the day in a happier, sunnier mode. So it takes a lot longer or a lot more to get me to that state now. It's still there. Don't you mean, especially when I'm getting tired, I'll get a little bit ratty, and if the kids are acting up, they will get told off a fair bit for no reason at that time. But most times I can take a breath and see the cute side of it, rather than, you're jumping on the bed, get out of my room, kind of thing. So I mean, there is a big difference in my moods now, I'd say. And there's a big difference in the way I feel about certain things that would bother me in the past, or certain maybe toxic people in my life that would bring an immediate reaction from me, or have, it'd be a rant on the phone at the very least. I'm able to look at it and think, that's you, that's not me. I'm not going to engage. And then I can walk away from it. And again, that's a big deal. I'm not trying to take in all of that anymore. And that's not something I was able to do before, because I was, you're almost like walking around ready for a fight sometimes. That's how I felt at times. Whereas now it's like, I'm good where I am. I'm happy where I am. If this is something that's going to cause me to go back that way, I'd rather just kind of take a step back and, go around it. I don't need to be going through that.
Oh, it's great. Your energy has changed so much. Your positivity just beams. I can feel it. And I'm so proud of your making the step to come and do this work. And some of it has been exceptionally challenging, I know, and we've had to keep challenging you, but in as kind of nurturing way as possible. So
Yeah.
I honour you, Mariam, for taking this step for yourself and your family, and I honour you for coming and sharing today. So thank you for that, and thank you
No
for listening,
problem.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.